So hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'll start by apologizing for the noise on the background. I'm filming from outside and I'm very close to the road, which means there are lots of cars passing by, and I hope that's not gonna distract my video. So let's get straight into this. So today I want to be speaking about postpartum depression, and I feel like when you're pregnant, like many people tell you the positive things and what to expect and all these things, but most people maybe try not to tell you a lot of negative things. And I know it's amazing, like when you give birth, you have like the little cuddles from your baby, the little smiles. It's just worth it, like especially when you're really upset. But there's the downside to it where you get so stressed and all that, and I think I'm going to go through what in this video what I went through. So I was living in Finland, my husband was living in Sweden, so which means the first few months of my pregnancy my husband was not with me but then he joined me later on, and that means that he wasn't entitled to paternity leave in Finland. And so when I went to give birth, we stayed in the hospital for 3 days, and after those 3 days he had to go straight into work. And I remember crying, calling my mom. I didn't know what to do, but then I was like, my mom helped me with the first baby, so I need to get on top of things with the second one. And it's difficult, and anyone who lives in Scandinavia or in Europe basically can relate, because I think the culture is completely different and there's not so many people to help you, especially with a child. And I think this video is both for people who have gone through pregnancy and people who don't have kids yet, because I think it's nice to have information and know what to expect in the future. So anyway, we came home, I was crying, calling my mom all the time, and so my husband, this was my husband's first child, so he didn't know what to do as well. So he stocked the fridge with a lot of food which he had cooked obviously, and used to come home every lunchtime to come and check on us. And it was so hard. I remember it was so difficult because I just didn't understand, like, how can you just give birth and be on your own? And me coming from a different culture where everyone is always ready to help. There is your sister or your mom or your auntie or your neighbor, like there's always someone. Anyway, so the first few months went by quickly, and we moved back to Sweden in December. Then in January I went to Kenya, and it was amazing. I was so happy, like everyone takes your baby, everyone is so ready to help. But then it's kind of affected me when we came back to Sweden, because it's a lot of love, and then you come back to the same kind of environment. And mind you, I had been living in Finland, so moving back to Sweden was like so awful for me. I didn't have friends, and in this culture it takes a long time for people to like open up to you. So I found it really difficult, and I think my depression kind of started kicking in. And my husband would mention things here and there, and he didn't want to tell me directly, but I remember I was getting so upset. I didn't leave the house. I was just always sad, always crying, like I didn't know what to do. I was shouting at him, and so he told me, maybe you need help from someone. And so I booked an appointment at the hospital, and I went to see this therapist, and she talked to me through the whole like asking me how I felt, and I tried to explain. So she told me, you have postpartum depression. You can either get it earlier, during the earlier months after the baby, or it can kick in later, because I remember with me it kicked in around 8 to 11 months, but I was still in denial. I didn't want to accept it, because sometimes you feel like, oh, I can never get depressed, like people who get depressed are really sad, or you know. But I think this can just happen to anyone, and people need to be aware of it, and talk, you know, just getting outside, having a, you know, fresh air and all that. It really helps, just talking to someone, and maybe not your husband, because I tried to do that, and I felt like he didn't understand me 100%, like what exactly I was going through, even if he was trying to be supportive. And maybe it's nice to go to a professional who can advise you and tell you what to do. And so So my therapist told me that I needed to have time on myself as well. Like, it doesn't mean that just because you have a child, your life revolves around the baby. You can go to the gym, you can go for walks, you can go for coffee with your friends, and it's just nice to like have that alone time, and try to focus on yourself, feel good about yourself, because I feel like having somebody else in your life kind of takes a lot from you. And so that was amazing. I started doing that. I started like trying to make friends, like going to the mommy groups where you meet parents with kids, which in Sweden doesn't help so much because people are very into themselves. So you go to the play groups and you still have to make an effort to get into the little society. But I promised myself, and that was part of me wanting to share a lot my emotions and like starting a YouTube channel, because I felt that I could help someone else who've been going through the same thing and who doesn't know what to do. And the second thing that I did was teaching my son, or sleep training my son, because I felt that if my son went to bed earlier, that gave me time for myself in the evenings. Like I could at least sit down and have a glass of wine, like just watch a movie and not feel like I have to run around all the time, taking care of the baby. And that was amazing. And maybe I could create a video with sleep training routines and all that, because I think it's nice having a schedule and when your child goes to bed and stuff, because you have your alone time, and if you have a husband, if you're on your own, like you can focus more on yourself. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and I hope the information that I've shared is going to help at least someone out there with or without a child. And bye guys, see you soon. Bye.